So, question: what's the big deal about illegal wildlife such as parrots being smuggled in the country? Why do we care so much about it? Well, the first way I would start, let's go through it all. So, where do these illegal parrots come from? So, there are many ways people get these birds. They might go in the wild and catch a parrot, and then when they do catch these birds, they normally put them with other animals that these birds would not naturally be around. And one of the risks with that is, to think about going to the market and put all these animals that normally don't interact. There's a chance that a virus, some disease could jump from one animal to the other. So normally in the wild they would interact. So there's a high risk that the disease might come over. So it come over on the animal. All right. So you know it's smuggling. So they might go on a boat. So you have the animals interacting with animals they would never interact before. They go on the boat, and what? They could infect the person who on the boat. And we are talking about disease. Everybody hear about bird flu, right? Bird flu don't only affect birds; it affects other animals. So it can cross. So normally in the illegal wildlife trade, they put all of these animals in some cages or stuff, and that. So next you come on the boat, you come here. So the parrot. So when the parrot come here, and so that it come from a country that might have some microorganism that is not present in Jamaica. Now some of these stuff that it could come with, one, it could come with a disease that might affect poultry or affect agriculture in that way. And that's why we have ports, we have vet and other scientists trained to do certain tests and pick up on stuff like that. And not going to say them going to catch everything, but that's why you have the ports, that's why you have to fill out all the form, that's why sometimes you have to show so the animal vaccinated and do all of that to protect our country. So that's one. So the animal come here, fly away. Now, in a case of a parrot that is not from Jamaica, fly away and go in the wild. Now, our parrots, normally we wouldn't be interacting with anybody. And it coming with an animal that have interact with other animal and could pick up a disease. So what could happen? This parrot fly goes, pass on the disease to our parrots. And the parrots in Jamaica are endemic, meaning they're found nowhere else in the whole world. So it's a risk that you could affect our own wildlife. So if these parrots pick up a disease, guess what happened to them after a while? They die. Another thing that can happen when you have parrots, non-native parrots get away, they could go and outcompete our parrots, and in the long term, if they outcompete them for food, some of them are bigger, so reproduce faster, and some of them might even use the nesting holes that our local parrots do. So after a while, it outcompete and our parrots number go down while they go up. Another way it can be bad for our parrots is that they might reproduce and create what we call a hybrid. So imagine you have parrot A, which is not from Jamaica, and you have parrot B Jamaica, they breed, they create an offspring which might be AB. And after a while, this offspring might become dominant and we lose our own species. So one thing we fear when people bring in non-native animals is that they might hybridize with our local animals. And that's why I hear this big word about hybridization. So let's go about it again. So when you're smuggling these animals and they don't do the real check, they can come with disease. And disease can affect agriculture. It can affect us as humans if it can pass on to us. And it can affect our wildlife. All right? And we all know how it affects agriculture. It could be something passed on, a disease in poultry. And we all hear about possibility right now of bird flu. Second thing, it could be a disease that passed on from that animal to humans. And then the next way, if it gets away in the wild, one, it can outcompete our birds for food. So imagine, just go out there and eat more than our bird. Second thing, it might outbreed our bird, what we call the breed together, create a hybrid. And the third thing is sometimes they might just kill them off. So that's why you have people concerned when you hear people say, one, They're smuggling in wild birds in the country. Two, and some people I've heard of might have birds that they don't like and they feel like release it in the wild. So this is one of the reasons why the conservationists are concerned when they hear that there are birds being trafficked in Jamaica. Because you might look at it and say pretty, but you do not know the potential risks to you, which, as I said, it could affect agriculture, could affect you as a human, and it can affect our Jamaican bird, which I think we have a right and we should protect our own bird. So it's not like the authority are fight against you. I think we need to explain why there is such a concern and why you should be concerned with what's going on, you know. You have to have the ports, you know, to test. So when these birds are coming in, you have to have the ports, the right people out there to test and make sure there's nothing there that will be at risk to us and to our wildlife. Peace.